Hello YouTube, it's me again, back with another artsy sort of video. So, I know it's been a while since I've posted myself doing something artsy on my channel. And I have my reasons. I've been fighting with recording software, and most of the videos that I've recorded in the last almost month have in some way broken. So, I was really sad. But I've kind of settled back into a little bit of a groove. I'm not really happy with the quality of the recordings, but, you know, that'll come with time, I guess. So, I am messing around with a program called Paint 3D. I think it's called Paint 3D? Pretty sure. And it basically allows you to use 3D shapes to create whatever you want, and you can customize it. And so I'm making, I make two things in this video, because the first thing turned out to be a little short. Right now, what you're watching me make is a sword. So I know it doesn't look like a sword right now, but I swear to you, it will. It will. Just give it time. So right now I'm working on like the handle with the little pommel. I don't know if you would call it a hilt yet, because it doesn't like have the cross guard. But no, yeah, it's the hilt. It's the hilt. So right now I'm working on the hilt and the pommel. The cross guard will come a little bit later. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm using the, drawing painting aspects and just spinning around the hilt to give it some texture. I wanted it to look vaguely like wood, so I just added some shading with the watercolor tool. I had tried to actually use, the pencil tool to make, wood grain, but I found that was really hard to do in this program, especially because you have to keep spinning the canvas around. In this moment, it kind of looks sort of like Mjolnir. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was pretty cool. I now kind of want to make Mjolnir. But I do go back and change this into gold, because I felt like it was more fitting. So this is actually not the first sword that I've made in this program. I've made a couple of them so far, actually. So I have made, I think, 2 or 3 other swords, with varying hilts and pommels. I was having a lot of fun experimenting with how the different shapes could interact with each other. So for one, I made a little pommel that was a miniature globe, which I was really proud of. And then for some reason or another, the Paint 3D program was deleted off of my computer. The recording I made of myself making the sword corrupted, and the save file was deleted. You guys can tell I'm having a lot of just computer mayhem, can't you? But it's okay. I am back now, and I really am proud of how this sword turned out. I'm working on the little cross guard, I don't know, decorations. I don't know what you would call them. Little jewels and stuff to put on the side of the crossguard to make the crossguard look cool. I don't know what you would call those. I like them. For this, I kind of wanted them to look like little, cut rubies. Oh, here, I actually have a very interesting little method for these blades. I created these super thin triangles, and then I squashed them together so that when you would see the blade and the blade would turn, it would actually look like it was sharp. The only problem was it made it kind of hard to do the point. So the point doesn't perfectly line up, but when you see the model itself, you can't really tell because of how thin it is. So here is the final blade. I love how you can see it in model mode. You'll see me zooming in and playing around with the little model. So you can see it, and this actually shows you how glossy it is and what the different finishes look like that you can do with the different colors. So I thought that this program was really interesting, and I wanted to share it with you guys. This is just me spinning around the blade, showing you what I've done, being proud of what I've built. I hope that doesn't annoy you too much. So, yes, and the next thing that I decided to make was a robot. So one of the first things I seriously made in this program was a robot, and I decided I wanted to kind of try that again, but with a different shape. The robot that I made before had a circular base. I will try and post that on my Instagram if I remember. Don't hold me to that, I will try. So, the first one that I made was a little bit more round, so I wanted to try one with a bit more of a, like, I don't know about square body. It ended up being square, rectangular. But I wanted to try a little bit of a different shape, try different hands. I think the hands were probably one of the more tedious parts of building both of those robots. For this one, I went with more simplistic hands than I did in the other one. If you see that one, you'll know what I mean. But yes, I wanted to build a little robot buddy, so I am building myself a little dark gray robot buddy. And I know that he looks kind of black. It doesn't look like he's a dark gray. I think that's one of my only problems with this program, is that it's kind of hard to distinguish between the black and the dark gray, but you know, that's not the worst issue in the world. One of my other qualms with this program is that it's hard to customize the shapes, in a sense, so you can't sculpt. There's no, like, building tool where you can sculpt something into the models, so I don't know really how you make your own custom models. So, like, I wanted to carve a little face into this guy, and that turned out to be profoundly hard, so I just gave him eyes and gave up. Because there was no good way to make the slopes of the face. So if any of you guys have used this program and know what I'm doing wrong, please let me know. So in his little stance, I wanted to give him a little bit of, like, a one leg is tucked further back than the other vibe, to make him look a little more dynamic when he's standing there. I didn't want him to just look super rigid. So I went through, I had to do a lot of copying to make sure that all of the different cylinders and pipes and spheres were all the same size between the different joints, because obviously when you make a robot there's a sort of manufactured symmetry. So here I am adding the little eyes. I don't end up keeping the red eyes. I end up going back in and changing their color down the line, but that's something I do, like, right at the very end of my creation of this little robot figure. So here I'm taking what I believe is actually called the donut shape, and I'm adding a little lighter rim around the eyes. And oh yeah, the little cone nose. I completely forgot that I gave this little guy a nose. A little, like, tilted cone nose, just sort of sticking out of his little head. Here, what I'm doing is I'm adding a little, like, I don't know, screen, I guess you could say, on his chest. So that I could add, like, a little heart monitor or a voice box thing. Kind of reminds me of the computer wife from SpongeBob. I don't remember what her name is. I think it's Karen? Sorry that the video glitched a little bit there. That was weird. I'm not quite sure what caused that one. Hope that wasn't, like, freaking anyone out. But the computer wife, I think her name was Karen. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. But that little screen that has, like, the waves when she speaks could be something like that. I'm sorry I stumbled over my words quite so much. So this is just me kind of coloring in the little screen. I went with a black so you can sort of differentiate the screen from the rest of the body. And then I added in some thin green, like, heart monitor / waveform lines to create, like, a little sense of life in this little guy. I don't really have too much to say about the robot himself. So this is just me adding in some little beeps and boops, and I think I'm just going to leave you guys to watch the rest of my little creation with no voiceover, because I really don't have much productive to say. So you guys have a good morning, evening, afternoon, nighttime, time of day, and I will catch you guys on the flip side, because I'm making videos again. Be proud of me.